Thank you so much for tuning in to What is a Little Girl Supposed to Do? Thank you for tuning in to us. We are live. I am co-host to this podcast show with my beautiful
Okay with me.
with my beautiful mommy, my mother, Miss Belinda B.
Belinda B.
Oh, she said Belinda B.
Belinda B.
She said Belinda B. So thank you so much for tuning in to us, to What is the Little Girl Supposed to Do? Thank you for tuning in to our show. Thank you for tuning in to us in your ears. We appreciate all your time. We appreciate all your attention. Thank you, Mom. And this color, I like this color. Thank you. That was a good idea. That was a good idea.
They say money green.
Ooh, what they say,
And green, we think about the grass that's green. And it helps trees grow
the grass
during this time.
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
the green is so important.
It is.
I love it.
It is.
You look so
You do too. And then I even want to say, right now, I mean, me and my mom, we've been having a time. We've been having a time. A good time. Last night we had but we got invited to an event over at the Alberta Pub. Absolutely. Back in the day when I was younger, I remember they got the original sign in there. I remember, but it was called the Love Train.
Yeah. We had a good time. My nephew is the manager of the place. And since the rodeo is coming up on June the 15th, they had one of the bull riders that was being honored at the pub last night. I mean, he's amazing. He's won awards. And so, yeah, we just wanted to spread that information that June the 15th will be the Black Rodeo. Again, it's coming back to Portland. Their tickets are selling out real quick. All right. So that's, news for the day. I used to ride horses before my back got messed up. I love riding horses.
So you did ride horses?
Yes, I told you. I rode on many horses. Okay. Yes, I love being they say cowgirl, but I'm not no cowgirl. I'm a black goddess. That's what I could say. All right. So we're going to move on with what we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely.
And right now, mental illness is at the top of the list. Mental illness is at the top of the list because we are losing a lot of innocent people to people that is suffering from mental illness. And it is a big problem here in America. I read this article early this week on Tuesday about a gentleman that killed the worker that was working in the place where he was being cared for. And in the article, it says, man was accused of killing a mental health worker found guilty except for insanity. And the gentleman's name was, James Smith. He was 61 years old. And he had a prior, he hurt another person back in 2001. So my question is, what was he doing on the street? Because he, let me find the article here, where the documents showed he was previously found guilty except for insanity in the random stabbing of another woman on the streets of Northwest Portland in 2001. the court documents note that in that case, he testified saying it was an auditory hallucination that caused him to stab the woman. So I asked my daughter this morning, because I had never heard of auditory hallucination. The only thing I heard about was hallucination. Hallucination means you're hearing voices in your head that's uncontrollable. You can't stop them. But the definition of auditory, I don't know if you can remember what it said, or we ain't gonna go there.
I mean, I can't quote it I can't quote it, but I can remember that it was saying that it was voices that are being heard. There were voices that were being heard that from people that weren't there.
Okay.
Which I didn't. I mean,
No.
I was like, duh. I mean, duh. If you know that you're in the room by yourself and you hear a voice, duh, then you know that there's something going on because you're hearing a voice and there's somebody else. You don't physically see somebody else in the room with you. So I didn't understand when they were saying that you heard the voice out loud. They heard the voice out loud around them.
Yes, I didn't understand that.
Right.
Because, sad to say, back in the late 70s, early 80s, the doctors had put me on medicine saying that I was a paranoid schizophrenic. After taking that medicine, I was paranoid, schizophrenic, hearing voices, and the voices was not nice. The voices was not nice.
Right.
They were loud, and they were telling me to do things that would hurt other people.
Yeah.
And by me growing up in a household with my mom and my siblings, my mother taught us about love. We went to church 3 times a week. She made sure that we wasn't going to be doing Satan's work for him.
Right. Right.
She made sure of that.
Yeah, no.
So hearing these voices telling me to hurt other people, I fought those voices for a long time. Those voices was telling me to do bad things to people. But I'm thankful that I grew up in the church with my family, and I knew right from wrong, and I knew that hurting other people, thou shalt not kill, and all that. I knew that would be wrong if I would have hurt people just because I heard these voices telling me to do these things.
Right.
So that wasn't right. And so this article that I read on the news this week, it just really saddened me about this young woman. She was 26 years old. I will get her name here, but she died. She died doing something that she liked to do. She wanted to help people. And that's why she was working at this home for the mentally ill. And so it's just a sad situation that she lost her life. But I would like to dedicate this show to her and her family and whoever else is suffering from mental illness. You need to get the help, but the main help is reach out to God. Ask God to help heal your mind and your body. Set you free from all your miseries. You have to cry out and really mean what you're asking God to do for you. Because God was the only one that was able to help me. That medicine did not help me at all. It damaged me, but I became an overcomer, and you see me today. No medication. And that's been going on since 1989. I haven't looked back. Overcomer, and it's an amazing feeling knowing that you do not need all that stuff. Have a relationship with God, because God will take care of you. He will heal you because He can see into the future and you can't. Yeah, this is sad. Because my children, they were young when I was sick, and they experienced a lot of stuff that was happening to me when I was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah.
And I had read that paranoid schizophrenia comes from you have a connection to God. You have a connection. It's a spiritual awakening when they call schizophrenia. It's a spiritual awakening. Mm-hmm. You're on a different planet somewhere else. And your thoughts and all that is a lot different than the other people. You can see things that other people don't see.
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true.
You can hear things that people don't hear. Yeah, people. I mean, it's not funny, but we know what the people are going through, and we want to help heal and explain to so many family members that once you have a family member that's mentally ill, now they're on the medication. I mean, they may not have been on medication at first because they're like, I'm okay. I don't want to be on no medicine. Mm-hmm. But then once they get on the medicine, and then the family is talking about, well, they doing a lot of things different than what they were doing before. They're saying, I don't feel comfortable on this medicine. But when a person haven't been there and done it, you don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
You have no clue what they're going through. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're here today to help enlighten others on what to do when you have a family member or someone that you know that is going through some type of mental problems. Mm-hmm. Because now it's out of control.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. It's out of control.
Mm-hmm. I mean, right. I mean, when you know someone, they have a pattern. You know what I mean? They wake up in the morning, they brush their teeth, however way it is, they have a pattern. And so you don't have to live with that person to see their pattern. It could be somebody like Aunt Sarah, her pattern, you spoke on the phone every single day, right? Yeah. It's a pattern. And so once the pattern is broken, if there was a day that Aunt Sarah and you did not speak, you would know that there's something going on with Aunt Sarah because she's not calling me today. She normally calls me at 9:00. You know what I mean? It's a pattern. And so when there's people out here that we know, if there's something off on their pattern, to be able to just, when they come to your mind, when a person comes to your mind, you're supposed to what?
Check on them. Call them. Because they come to your mind because there's something going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere in there, they broke the pattern. You need to just go and check on them. Yeah. I mean, so I think that's that right there is beginning stages that's beginning stages of mental illness. Is you've already started isolating yourself, and others didn't necessarily, see that. And then there are a lot of us out here that have pride. And so we don't want to necessarily call somebody.
Yeah. Because who want to be called crazy?
I don't. I mean, I don't. But I understand. You know, I understand.
Yeah.
Feeling that way.
Yeah.
And when I was feeling sad, and I was like, Mom, I'm feeling sad. I said, I need to go. I want to say like it was like maybe 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I don't know, but I had kids.
Yeah.
And my son was in middle school. And I was just dealing with being a single mom, 2 kids. And I was like, Mom, I'm feeling sad. I need to go and talk to my doctor. And then you said, you need to talk to your doctor. And I said, yeah. And I said, I need to talk to somebody. And then you said, you could just talk to me. And I said, Mom, and I said, I understand. Well, I mean, I do like talking to you. And I was like, but people have been telling me that if I go and talk to somebody, medicine will help, like just soothe my anxiety. And that's exactly what you said. He was like, okay, well, you don't need to be taking the medicine, Shanti. I went to the doctor. They gave me a prescription. And my mom was at work and you was working up at RS Medical. And I was like, my mind was telling me, you probably will take the medicine. You don't want to worry your mom. You know what I mean? Don't be calling her at work. Don't worry your mom. You know what I mean? Just the doctor said, take the medicine. Everything will be all right. You know, single mom, you got a lot of stuff going on. So I was like, yeah. Took the medicine. And within those 7 days, I had a permanent smile on my face. Okay. Permanent smile. Mm-hmm.
You can't see yourself.
I had a permanent smile on my face, and I didn't understand why I couldn't get it off.
Oh, and what caused that?
The medicine.
The medicine.
Mm-hmm. And then I remember I had called you. I was sitting there, so I was like, "This is not normal. I like being happy, but this is not normal."
You can't see your face on your thing.
This is not normal. So, yeah.
So what happened to the smile?
What happened to it?
Yeah, what happened to the smile? How did you get rid of that permanent smile? What did you have to do?
I mean, what did I have to do? I was taking the medicine, and the medicine was making me have the permanent smile.
So once you stopped taking it, that smile went away? Or what happened?
Eventually. You remember how the medicine was?
Oh, I mean, I had 10 years of it. So yeah, I definitely those. It's all about. So no, the medicine. I mean, make sure when you get that prescription that the pharmacy print out what this medicine can do and the side effects.
Are you talking about nowadays?
Nowadays.
Okay, I'm talking about nowadays. I'm talking about back. It was like, it was a while ago. My children are adults now. So at the time when I took that medicine, they were in middle school. And my daughter was in elementary school. My son was in middle school. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what they follow it up with now, but by me coming from a mother that was on that medicine, I know the difference of how you're supposed to be acting and what you're not supposed to be acting. I know the difference. And so now that I'm taking medicine and my thoughts is telling me things that I know that my thoughts wasn't telling me before, I was so nervous because for the fact I can handle my own brain. Yeah. And I got to deal with what's going on with it. And so now that I've introduced it to a whole foreign, you know what I mean? I don't know I don't know what type of circus or what type of carnival. I don't know where I'm going to go on. Yeah. I didn't, but I knew when I was sitting there and that my face went into that smile like the Joker and I could not take it off. Then I was like, it's not that I don't want to smile, but I'm being forced to smile like this unnaturally all day. And that's when I was like, okay, this is one of the beginning stages of this medicine.
See, and that's why your mama told you.
I called you and I said, Mom, and I said, I want to be honest with you. And you said, okay. And I said, I've been taking the medicine. And you said, what medicine is it? And I said, they said, give me 30 milligrams. He was like 30 milligrams. I said, yeah, they said 30 milligrams. And I was like, Mom, and I've been sitting here and I cannot get the smile off my face. And that's when that's when the voices was coming to me and telling me to do stuff to hurt my children. And that's when I had locked myself in the bathroom. And then I called you and I was like, Mom, and I said, I know that I'm not supposed to be thinking this.
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to be thinking this. It's not natural for me to be thinking this. I love to the core of my everything, my children. You know what I mean? So I would So when I called you and I was like, so I'm going to lock myself in my bathroom. My kids are out there in the living room playing. And I said, so I'm going to lock myself in here. I don't have anything in the bathroom with me. I said, but I don't know how this medicine is going to make me. And I said, and so I want to make sure. And then you got off work.
Yeah. 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 That's, and when these things come so unexpectedly.
What things?
The behavior.
Yeah.
The behavior. I mean, because you didn't know this was coming on.
Gradually, I had an idea. Gradually, I had an idea.
What a wake-up call.
What a wake-up call? I mean, for one, I started thinking, dang, my mom told me not to do this. You know what I mean? So then I started thinking to myself, this is where they be saying being hard-headed kick in. So I was like, my mom told me not to take this medicine. So this is one of the things that I'm going to have to deal with because I did something she told me not to do. So I'm going to have to write it out. I mean, it's already in my system. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to write it out. I don't know. I mean, but we do need to get our auntie up in here one day because when she had tried, she wanted to know why her sister why you were going through what you were going through.
Yes.
Remember, she took one of your
just
one of your pills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that one pill, auntie climbed in the tree. First, she took her clothes off.
Yes.
Butt naked.
Yes.
And she climbed in the tree. Poor.
Yeah.
That was. And see, we're not laughing like it's funny.
No, it's not. It's not.
A lot of times when you are going through pain and when you're going through trauma, I feel that laughter.
Yeah.
Well, it makes, when you think about it, it's comical now.
It's a serious situation.
But
yes.
Absolutely.
It is a serious
situation. So I don't want people that, watch us and listen to our story and then they hear our story and they see us crying and then we're laughing. I don't want them to think that we think that it's.
No, it's not funny.
Right.
But it just, you have to understand.
Right.
That we're so thankful to be here.
Man.
This laughter is tears of joy.
Man.
It's not a joke.
No. Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Right.
So, because when I see people on the street, it really hurts my feelings. I know when people is on medication. They out here talking to trees and telephone poles and to themselves. Something is wrong. They're on some type of medicine that's causing them to do this.
But is that medicine?
Huh?
Is that medicine? Or is it some type of illegal drug?
Well, I don't know what it is that they took to make them do all this talking, but I know that a lot of the people that is on medication, they hear those voices.
They do.
They hear the voices, and so they start talking. Yeah. They talking back out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know because it's lived experience. That's why I can say what I say, because I understand. I heard the voices all the time.
Right.
But I had to fight these voices.
Right.
And it is real. So we want to help others that's going through this. Please read your instructions when they give you the medicine. You can look at what the side effects are, what it's going to help you with. Then you'll have an outlook on ahead of time what you're going to be facing. And you can make a decision on if this is what you want to do. So, the psychiatrist security reviewed the board will decide when and if there should be release, but the Multnomah County deputy, the district attorney, and Sean Hughey says he will more than likely spend the rest of his life in prison. The guy will probably spend the rest of his life in prison that did this to this young lady. And I would like to read what the lady's mother said. The mother of the victim, Michelle Rogers, used Tuesday hearing to point out problems with Oregon mental health system. There's problems.
Unknown caller.
She said Haley was the most loving person that I could ever have. And if you would have survived the brutal attack, she would be advocating for Mr. Smith right now. I know Haley, she would want whatever it is best for him. She would have gone out of her way that night to help him in any way that she could. This is the type of person the worker was. She loved her job. She wanted to help the people that was dealing with the mental illness. She would have went out of her way. And it says, Roger went on to say the system failed her daughter. The system failed her daughter. She should not have been alone at night, right where he stabbed and killed her. She was only 26 years old, just beginning her life. In the Cascadia Health, one of Oregon's largest behavioral health providers, owns the group home, but Rogers says her daughter had raised a safety concern with management before she was killed while working at the night shift alone. So the representatives spoke. The representatives of Oregon Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees and the union spoke out against Cascadia after Haley's killing, saying employees had been asking not to have workers on the night shift alone. She's a woman there at that place by herself, and you don't know how many patients is there and how many is men. I mean, men can always out-strengthen a woman. So for her to be alone is just not right. So hopefully they change the rules. Hopefully they'll change the rules there. And so the court documents reveal that Smith had been living at a group home for 10 years before the killing. The documents noted he was previously found guilty, except for insanity, in the random stabbing of another woman on the streets in Northwest Portland, and this was in 2001. The court documents note that in the case of testified saying auditory hallucination had caused him to stab the worker. He should not have been there. He should have been in the hospital, you know. And it's just, to me, it's, this whole story is sad. It didn't have to happen to this young girl. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it didn't have to happen. But our prayers goes out to the family and to the community. Our community, we need to be aware that mental illness is a very, very situation. Like the saying used to be, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And it is. Once you lose your mind, because your mind, your brain is what controls things. Mm-hmm. So if you lose your brain, if you can't function with your brain because it's not working, mm-hmm. We walking around here like zombies. And we're really in a dangerous situation because we don't know who's on medicine, mm-hmm. what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, and why they're doing it. Mm-hmm. It's just coming out the blue. This has been going on for a very, very long time. People that's on the streets, amongst us, in stores, wherever we are, we don't know what their thoughts are and what they're going to be doing. Right. But they're walking around here freely at their leisure, mm-hmm. to do whatever they're doing. It's a serious situation. If you have a family member that needs some help, be able to talk to the family member. Talk to them. And don't say negative things. That's the last thing a person that's mentally ill, they don't want to hear nothing negative. They really don't, because that's going to cause them to get angry and ready to go off on you.
Well, yeah, and then a lot of all that negative talk is probably a good reason why they're dealing with mental illness, because of the fact of them dealing with or someone saying something negative. People bullying you or somebody making you feel bad after a period of time, it can then, those are the steps that could be that, not the steps, but those are one of the antidotes for the reason why a lot of us are dealing or have dealt with mental illness.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mention the girl's name that was the employee at the hospital. Her name is Haley Rogers. And this happened on July of 2023 at the McCarthy Place in Gresham. She was only 26 years old. And
our condolences. Our condolences, yes. And prayers, for sure. For sure. You said for Haley Rogers.
She was 26 years old.
Rest in peace, Haley Rogers.
Yes. It just breaks my heart, mm-hmm. that there's not enough people that's willing to help others get through this mental illness. It's a health issue. Mm-hmm. Your mind. Mm-hmm. Your mind, it can take a long time for it to come back around.
Right.
But you have to feed it positive things. And then it have a lot to do with your diet. Mm-hmm. What you eat and what you consume. Like they say, you are what you eat. Mm-hmm. So we need to be careful what we put in our bodies. Make sure that you're treating your mind, your body, and your soul.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes, yes.
And I think I'm going to say, I'm claiming it. I'm going to say that I am a product of mental illness.
Yes.
That's been a part of the reason why we've started the podcast, is to share right? About our experiences in life. And through that, life has been life. I've still been, you know what I mean? There's still been things that have happened on top of the fact that we've been sharing us. We've had plenty of people, at least a handful of two of people since we've started doing the podcast. We have a handful or two of people that have passed away.
Yeah.
You know, both of my dads. It's been a road, but I know that's the reason why we're here to share.
Yeah.
We're examples. We're products of mental illness, whether it be medication, whether it be bullying, whether it be being at jobs where the manager has said, hey, I want you to come in the office and I want to offer you this 10 cents raise.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I mean, we know about being bullied at companies. We know about being bullied by people. We know about being bullied by your words. I mean, that song, Sticks and Stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. That was a lie.
That was a lie. That was a lie. Because words
Man,
to make you or break you.
Oh, she's and I've been broke by the word. Yeah, I've been broken by the words.
But one thing I would like to say is mental illness. I do not believe people are born with mental illness.
Okay.
I believe that mental illness comes on through some type of trauma
that
has happened. And a lot of trauma has happened to our children growing up. The examples that the parents are showing them at a very early age, they're traumatized. A lot of times when children are being molested, they're being molested by a lot of family members, people that you know, so-called friends. The children are being abused and they've been threatened not to say anything. So they're living with this trauma, trying to hold this back, try to live with it. And so we need to be more mindful of who our children are around, what role models and what examples they are receiving, because children is like a recorder, a sponge. They're going to suck in the things that they see, the things that they hear, and how people are being a role model or an example for these children. Children are a blessing from God. They're innocent. They're innocent until they're destroyed by some adult or some person that's older than them that's teaching them wrong things. So we need to be mindful and get back to the point of the Ten Commandments. God wants, we were born in the image and likeness of God. Just think about that. We were born to do the right thing.
Right.
We were born to do the right thing. But as time goes on, a lot of people choose to do the wrong thing. And then they share that wrong stuff with others. They do.
That's what they be doing.
Yeah. They share it with others.
That's what they be doing.
Yeah. And so that's how Satan gets you. He said, I didn't force you to do it. I just invited you. You chose to do it. So don't come back saying the devil made me do it.
Yeah, see how he turned it around? That is a You know what I mean? I mean, he throw it in your face and be like, I mean, he throw your own reality, though, back at you. And when he say, I only invited you to the party.
Yeah. He said, I only invited you.
I mean, but that's the only reason why I'm here, though. Is because you invited me.
But that's why God give you a brain. God give you a brain to make decisions, to make choices.
So when you get invited to the party,
you can say no.
Okay.
You can say no. He didn't twist your arm or chain you down and drag you there.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't do all that.
But okay, so is it not okay that he told me all of these things that was going to be happening, how fun the party or how cool the party was going to be? That's what he was supposed to do?
Yeah, that's what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to convince you that you're going to have a good time.
Okay.
And it's up to you to believe that to make that choice if this is something that you really want to do.
Okay.
It's simple.
It's simple.
Life is simple.
Man.
It really is.
Life is simple.
Life is very simple. So we're hoping that this mental illness situation, that people get help. Do not cause any more pain and suffering, because there's just a lot of people that's mentally ill. They do have guns, but they have other weapons. I mean, they can kill you with a knife. They could kill you with a piece of wood or some steel pipe or something. They don't really have to have a gun in order to hurt somebody if they want to hurt them.
Right.
I mean, rocks. I mean, seriously. So we need to be mindful of when we're having conversations with people and you know that they have problems. Even people that don't have problems, people do not want to hear anything negative coming from your mouth.
No.
Those days is over. We trying to get through this new earth that's coming, that's on its way. We don't have time for this old stuff. That's the reason why we're in the situation right now. The way people has acted,
right,
all these many years, them beat up people mentally, lied to them, stole from them. I mean, enough is enough. People is tired of all this. We want peace, love, and harmony. Welcome to the new earth.
And can I add what would be nice to add to the peace, love, and harmony?
Yes.
Some of your lemonade.
Of course.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say. Because look, like I said, I've been through some things. A lot of things. My antidote through the things that I've been able to get through. Come on. I just have testimonies. But through my testimonies, the truth is, having your good food. It was food for my soul. I know the difference of how it feels when I go to a restaurant or if I go somewhere to somebody. I know how it feels. When I eat food that my soul don't like, I have an attitude because I'm like, damn, why did I really I feel like I wasted so much of my time even by eating this food. And now it's not good.
Yes.
I'm upset because now for one, I got all this food on my plate that I got to figure out what am I going to do with it because I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? Your food has been good food for my soul.
Yes.
Your lemonade, your cookies.
I agree.
Your cookies.
Yeah.
Your cookies are so good.
I know.
You do?
I do know. Yes, because there's been fights over those cookies.
Is there one? Is there one that because I could tell like when I understand. You could tell the difference between something that somebody made that was rushed.
Thrown together.
Oh, jeez. I knew I wasn't tripping. I'm okay with the fact that, but I knew I wasn't.
Yeah.
I know the difference of food for your soul.
Yeah.
More migration of that. Your food, some laughter, some good times. It's good medicine and it's good for your, it's good for your soul. It's good for your life. You've told me a lot of stuff and you said I'd figure it out and I've been figuring it out. I know that people that have passed away, you said life is for the what? Or no, you said death.
Yeah, it's for the living to deal with because the person that has passed on, they're on another level now. They don't have to continue to deal with what we're dealing with on earth. So it's the people that's still here that have to deal with the death of a loved one or a friend.
Then I think about the stuff that the people that have left, whatever stuff that they've said and how they would move and how they would go about things. You know that enough about them So they would be wanting you to still continue to do what it is that you guys had planned, or what it is that they want you to still continue to do that because you're here and they're not. And by them not being here, I think that they're just like,
Yes.
you know?
And I would like to say one last thing.
Ooh, say it, Mom.
Mental illness. Check this out.
Okay,
because I done been to so many funerals in my lifetime.
Right.
And people get up and give their testimony, and some of them is boo-hooing, crying, because they did not have a relationship with the person that's gone now. They can't talk about it. Because they said, well, I was mad at this person for all these many years, and I never got to say I was sorry. Well, why did it take so long?
Mm.
You had years to say you're sorry, have a talk, do atonement, ask for forgiveness. But some people, they let the grave get the people first. And so now they're crying, saying they wish, but people need to realize tomorrow ain't promised to us. So if you can get together with the person that you're having the problem with, get together as soon as possible, because tomorrow ain't promised to us. Because once one of you guys are gone, then the other one gonna be crying, and they could lead them into mental illness because now they should have did something that they didn't do, and now they can't. They really can't do it now.
Mm-mm.
And that bothers a lot of people, thinking about what you should have did, but you didn't do it. It's too late. So people, families, if y'all is having problems with one another, get together. Because what happened in the past, there's nothing you can do about it. We can only do what's going on today and plan for the future if God blesses us with another day. But at least you've done what you can today. And it's important. And I tell you, forgiveness is the key. Forgiveness is not just for the person that hurt you. It's for yourself to have peace of mind. Because dealing with what somebody else done did or said, that's crazy. To live your life, not speaking to a person for 10, 20, 30 years because of something that happened. You done missed out on a lot of good memories, because once we're gone, that's all we have left is memories. We can't bring the person back. We can't bring that time back. So if you have problems with your family or friends or anyone, it's best to get that off your chest so that you can live your life in peace and harmony. Because just think about it, all the stuff that you done, if God didn't forgive you, how would you feel? So he say, no, I ain't gonna forgive you for what you did. Then what? But God is not like that. God will forgive you if you are sincere about what you're asking forgiveness for. So that's important.
It is important.
Yeah, it's important. So people just need to get off their hard-headedness, stubbornness. What's the stubbornness? Saying, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to continue to think this way no matter what. Then you're going to be sad that that's it. So that's all I have.
I like that. I like that. I like that. That's why in the meantime, you got to be mindful of things that you're doing before you do it. Because even when you forgive somebody, it doesn't mean that you got to hang out with them. It don't mean that you got to sit and have coffee like how we used to. It's not the same, because that's now fabric that has been torn. But I'm good. You good. You know what I mean? We good.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stay in this. I'm staying in this lane right here. I'm staying in this lane. This is the lane I like to be in.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've forgiven, but that does not mean that it's back to how it was. That don't mean that.
No.
Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Forgiveness is so important for the peace of heart and mind for yourself.
I already have a peace of heart, man.
But I'm not just speaking. I'm talking to the masses of people.
I'm talking to anybody, and that's the masses of people. I'm talking about anybody that has wronged anybody. Anybody that has wronged anybody, said anything, anybody that you know as a child, that was not what you were supposed to do. That was not what you were supposed to say. When we was kids, we had those instructions. Now that you're an adult, and if you did something that you knew you wasn't supposed to do, that you learned when you weren't supposed to do when you was a child, you're fully responsible.
Yeah, because back then we got whooped.
Okay, now what can happen to you as an adult? What's your punishment as an adult? Doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing. What's the punishment?
The punishment, well, you could go to jail if you're really doing something that you ain't supposed to be doing. If you get caught, and people think, you go to jail, you can go to prison.
You can go to jail. That is true.
Yeah. So, and then remember, you can't get away with nothing.
But jail don't seem like it's enough of a punishment.
For some folks.
For some.
Because they go back again. Seriously, they go back. It's like a revolving door. So they didn't get rehabilitated while they were there the first time or the third time or however many times.
Some of them don't be looking to be rehabilitated. What's the word?
Rehabilitated.
What's the word? Rehabilitation. Rehabilitated.
Yes. Yeah. To rehabilitate somebody is to teach them or show them what's right and what's wrong. And sometimes people still make the wrong decisions because they like doing wrong because they think they're going to get away with it. They think they slick. Yeah, that's what happens. People say, oh, I know right from wrong, but I'm going to try this one more time to see, what's going to happen. That's how they get caught.
This was a really good idea, Mom. This color and stuff. Are we still on here?
Yeah.
This was a really good idea. Are we still live? Are you still live on your Facebook? Are we still being filmed? Or are we done? We done?
Oh, no.
We're not being filmed, right?
Yeah, you didn't close the show.
Yeah. Yep. So,
yeah. Somebody got to close the show.
All right. Yes, that's why I'm waiting.
Right. Okay. So we finished? Or are we still?
We're done.
I've been enjoying this with you. So I don't know. You know what I mean?
I'm waiting for you to post it.
In order that.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
We love it. We love it.
We love it.
Man, I didn't give the shout outs to, I didn't say that.
Well, go for it.
My mom has been modeling.
Yeah.
My mom has been modeling with Coco Berry.
Coco Berry.
My mom has been hired to work with Coco Berry. It's a clothing and apparel and accessory line. And these are look, she when every time we talk about it, she get to closing her eyes and stuff, and that's how you know. Ooh, how the material feels so good.
Yes,
it feels so good. It's so warm. It's so she got me a sweatshirt. My mom got the full fit on. She got the pants and she got the hoodie. And you know what I mean? And she got her. And so of course, and then that I got my hat, of course, but it's turned back. And my mom got her fedora, what you call it. So we are here today. We went out last night. We are going to a baby shower today. So we have a lot of festivities. I would like to thank everyone who tuned in today to What is the Little Girl Supposed to Do? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
And one more thing I would like to say. I forgot about this. April is Donate Life Awareness Month. My brother was Oregon's first heart transplant donor on 12/4/85. My mom, she was motivated by God to give her son's heart to another gentleman. So I definitely advocate for the program because they're doing some amazing things. They've helped save over 1 million lives since the transplant of my brother in 1985. So if you're not a donor, think about it. And we would love you to volunteer. Or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Donate Life Northwest. But today is this month is Donor Awareness Month in April. So thank you very much. And hopefully, if you have any questions, please feel free to call in to find out what your questions are.
Caller.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time.